In this video I'm going to talk you through how you can create your own new tessellated designs in FluidDesigner for 3D lighting, so that you can create pendant lampshades similar to the one in the top right hand corner there. I'm just going to show you how you can actually create your own patterns and create completely new designs such as this one here. So if I just delete that one first of all. So if we go to the object library, so what we're talking about are these folders here, 05 square all the way down to 11 square. So I'm going to talk you through how we can actually recreate this pattern here, and hence create the 6 different pendant lampshades shown in the middle. Now if you look at the icon on the right hand side here and look in the top left hand corner of it, you'll see a kind of noughts and crosses type grid, and it's that pattern which is tessellated onto different objects, so a triangular prism and a rectangular prism and a pentagonal prism, etc. So it's the pattern in the top left hand corner of here that is tessellated onto these different objects. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, let's create this noughts and crosses type pattern. And we can do that if I just go to view and top view. What I need to do is add a mesh, and I'm going to add a plane. So this is just a flat surface. So if I zoom in on that, just by pressing the home key on the keyboard. Now what I need to do, well, what I do is I set the radius in the left hand panel here as 2.5 millimeters. So in other words, this is 5 millimeters square. And if I go into edit mode by pressing the tab key and press W and subdivide this, and then in the panel on the left I set the number of cuts to 4. What that gives me is a 5 by 5 grid, and each one of those squares is 1 millimeter square. So 5 by 5 grid. Now if we go back to the object library, the 05 at the beginning of this folder name, 05 square, 05 square 2, 05 square 4, 05 stands for a grid that is 5 by 5. 07 is 7 by 7, 09 is 9 by 9. So that's what the numbering at the beginning of the folder name is. Alright, so that's what we need to do first of all, a 5 by 5 grid. Now what I need to do now is to move that out of the way. I now need to add a cylinder. Now, it might seem a bit odd using a cylinder here, but if we zoom in on it, if we take in the panel on the left, if we take the number of vertices right down, if we take it down to the lowest number possible, 3, we end up with a triangular prism, and that's an object that I've used, plus 4 vertices, a square prism, 5 vertices, pentagonal, hexagonal. I've also done 8 vertices and 10. Those are the different ones that I've used. Now in this instance I'm going to use 4, so we're going to make a cube shape. Now because this is a lamp, I'm going to set the radius here as 10 centimeters. That will give me a diameter of 20 centimeters, and I'm going to set the depth at 20 centimeters. Now I've lost my plane now, so if I just go to the outliner panel, click on plane, and I just need to move that away from my object. Alright, so I've got a square cuboid here, and I've got a plane on the right hand side there. So if I go to view and top view, what I want to do now is I want to modify this, because if I tessellate this at the moment, it won't actually do anything worthwhile. So if I switch to face select mode, and what I'm going to do is create a symmetrical pattern here, and I'm going to do it by deleting those faces. So if I select those faces and do X on the keyboard to delete and delete those faces, there's my kind of noughts and crosses grid. And it's very important, generally speaking, to make this symmetrical. It's not 100% the case, but I would start off that way. Okay, so there's my basic pattern, and if I now hold down the shift key and select the cuboid there, and you must have the tissue add-on installed, and I go to the Create tab and Tissue, and I select Tessellate. Now there's two things that we want here. I need to change to fan mode. Fan mode will give me a certain style, certain pattern, and I'll show you that in a second when we tessellate it. So switch to fan mode, and you must, from the point of view of 3D printing, always tick this merge box. What that does is it removes, deletes duplicate vertices. If you don't do that, you'll have real problems with 3D printing. Okay, so once you've done that, you click OK, and you can now see the pattern. Now the fan mode effectively creates these paths going into the center of the cuboid. So that's what the fan mode did. If we didn't select fan mode, everything would be horizontal and vertical. I prefer the fan mode, but obviously you can do it the other way. All right, so that's how we've actually got that. Now, what we need to do now is to sort of tidy this up. And so if I, well, first of all, I'm going to come out of edit mode and click outliner in the left-hand side here. And I'm going to delete the original cylinder. I don't want that anymore. I just want to keep this tessellated cylinder. Now, I know from experience that when it comes to 3D printing, these parts here that's in the middle of the screen won't print very well at all, and in fact they'll fail in NetFab Basic. They're too narrow and there's multiple points at the center, so you do need to delete those. So if we go to View and Top View, what I would do is press the Tab key to go into edit mode, A to deselect all the points, and C for circle mode, and just highlight the vertices in the center. Press the Escape key to come out of circle edit mode, and X to delete that vertices. Do C again and select the vertices at the bottom of the object. And now what I want to do is to delete part of the bottom there. And if I hold down the Control key and press plus, I can go out and I can select those vertices to delete. I could go a bit further, but in this instance I'm just going to delete those vertices, so that gives me a hole at the bottom. Now if I go to View and Front View, I also need to delete these patterns in the middle here, so I'll do C for Circle Select, highlight the vertices in the middle there, because I know these will be a problem if I try and run them through NetFab, and C to select the ones at the back of the object, so I've just selected the ones at the back there, and delete those as well. If we now zoom in at the top, and if we do Circle Select and select all of those vertices there, and press F to fill that in and A to deselect, we've now got a solid bit at the top. Now the only thing that we now need to do is if we open up the Properties panel and go to Modifiers, and if we add a Solidify Modifier, and I tend to set a default thickness of 2 millimeters, set the offset to 0 and tick these two boxes for high quality and even thickness. And you can then save that. So that's how you can create the first object that's listed here, 05 design. And so I've just created the cuboid one. So it's the second one that's listed here. Now you can create the triangular ones and all the others in the same way, and just by using this same pattern in the top left hand corner as we've done here. Now after you've done that, you can actually do 05 square designs, and here all I've done is in the original cuboid I've just split it into two faces around the circumference of the object, and for 05 square it's the same pattern. If you look carefully, it's just the same pattern 4 times, and I've just done split it up each face on the side into 4. That's all I've done. So you just save this now to your system, and there you've got a method of creating your own tessellated designs. Thank you for watching.